We're going live. We're live.
All right. Hey, hello. Testing, testing.
We are live.
All right, now.
This would be the, I guess, initial Carolina Sports Radio podcast trial.
Hello. You're listening. You're witnessing history right now.
History in the making.
Wish I could be you guys to watch this.
Adult beverages may be involved. We don't know.
They will be involved.
Yep, we have no idea. We don't even know if this is getting audio.
I don't even hear this.
Yeah.
If it is, be kind because we're novice and we are going live. We're testing. This is full test mode. So comments, we don't need to hear those right now.
And if you guys are lucky, I'll take my shirt off and this podcast. We'll just keep it going after you're done.
Yeah.
All right, so this is initial. Basically, we're trying this out. This is something we've talked about for, I don't know, guys, what, over a year
Probably.
at least.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
6 months, yeah. Looks like
And we came together. Our biggest common factor here is that we are all huge Carolina Panther fans. We got together through the Lake Norman Riot, which is a chapter of the Roaring Riot in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we just figured we'd get together and have a podcast. So this is our initial introduction. So, guys, like I said, be kind. We're novice, and we're going to do our best with what we can do. So we'll start out. Our start out's going to be basically we're going to introduce ourselves. I'm Dougie Fresh, as they like to call. I guess that's
or
my
pops.
their
Pops.
pops.
Yeah, you ever hear Pops? It's him.
And that's because I guess I'm the elder statesman of the group. I won't reveal my name or my age, but just a huge Carolina sports fan. I basically was from Carolinas, grew up here, lived here all my life. We're going to go ahead and talk about how this area we didn't have a NFL team for years, and so for the first part of my fandom, unfortunately, I was a Dallas Cowboys fan, and that was because of my father, who was a Dallas Cowboys fan, and when the Panthers came into the league in '93, we got it announced in '93. I knew then. I mean, I'm from the Carolinas, and I basically pledged my allegiance to the Panthers. Fortunately, the second year we got to play Dallas, the defending Super Bowl champs, in Ericsson Stadium, and I was there, and that was it, man. When I saw Troy Aikman and Deion Sanders and all the stars, Emmitt Smith, all coming out on the field, I remember looking at my wife and saying, "This is going to be harder than I thought." And as soon as the kickoff started, I was all Panthers. And that's just because I'm a very loyal to where I'm from sports fan. And I've never looked back. I've been a Panther PSL owner since season 1 and never looked back. I'm Panthers through and through. I went to UNC Charlotte, graduated from there. I'm a big 49ers fan. I'm a huge Tar Heels fan. I know some of you might not like that, but it is what it is.
Let's go.
I'm just Carolina based. I mean, that's bottom line. My wife, she's from Charlotte as well, and she graduated from Charlotte as well. We're all in this together. So anything Carolina sports is what we're talking about. So just know we'll venture out into the national deal too, but we're going to focus on Carolina, North and South Carolina, maybe a little bit of Tennessee. They're to our neighbors in Virginia, but that's where we're going. So that's kind of my story. I'm going to turn it over. I think Stephen's going to go next. But that's basically us. And just know that the common factor here that got us together, though, is I guess our bread and butter is the Panthers. I mean, that's what brought us all together. So that's it, man. Take it away, Stephen.
All right, thanks, Pops. That was a great intro to you. Great intro to our group here. We did meet through a Panther fan group. We were the Lake Norman Riot. One of our fellow members, Kevin, got us all together, and we all just kind of clicked, and we're like, hey, we do this sitting at the bar. Let's do this on a podcast. We bring up great points about the Panthers and sports, and we drink a little bit. We kid and cut up. I'm like, what? I think people enjoy listening to this, and that's kind of the idea that we all kind of came up with. Yep. And so a little bit about me is I'm a little younger than Pops. He could maybe be my grandfather. I don't know yet, but we'll figure that one out.
I'm gonna write these guys off on my taxes.
We got the blood test in the work, but we'll figure that out in the future. But anyways,
Age is just a number. Always remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So when I grew up, I've only known the Panthers, so that's kind of different with me and Justin. Is when we grew up, started actually be able to watch football and see what's going on. Panthers were always a thing. They're always a thing. And I'm going to get a lot of backlash and a lot of backstabbing for this, but my first team that I loved was the Saints.
Explain why.
Because of Joe Horn. I saw Joe Horn. I was a young kid. I saw him make this crazy end zone catch.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I love some football. I love some Saints. I love the colors. Joe Horn, the man. But then I started watching the Panthers, and I found Steve Smith. And that ended up being my guy. Steve Smith, I'm always a shorter guy. I was always a younger guy, the little guy.
What was that last name again?
Steve Smith.
Smith. Yeah, Smith. Okay.
Yeah. We know a Smith or two. So, so I saw him, and I kind of just connected with him being the little dog, the underdog. And he always had that fight. And I'm like, that's my guy. And that's how I became a Panthers fan. And then this year, we ended up drafting J.C. Horn, Joe Horn's son. And I'm like, it's full circle. Yep, these two guys called it. I wanted the left tackle of Oregon, but that's fine. Detroit got him, and it's all
he wasn't available.
Hey, we'll take what we got.
It was available. But that's kind of how I became a Panthers fan and a sports fan was through that. A lot of my buddies, we all just, in middle school, me and my buddy had a bet every Monday night. We pick the teams and we just bet $1. We're middle school. $1 a lot in middle school.
Yep.
You buy your ice cream
That's
sandwich.
That's milk money.
Yeah, exactly. Buy your ice cream sandwich. Right?
Chocolate milk or white milk.
Exactly.
That's 5 cents extra.
Exactly. So that's kind of how I became a sports fan. And I've always like Doug said, we're a bunch of Carolina guys, so I'm pulling for Tar Heels, Heel yeah. I'm pulling for the Panthers, the Hornets, Buzz City. Little take warning with the Canes. I just got into them about 2 years ago. And there's not a baseball team here, so we didn't want to bring that up. But
Sadly,
we'll that's episode 2.
I tell you what, we'll delve into that later.
Episode 2, we'll maybe talk about that one, but that's fine. And I'm gonna throw the torch to old Justin over here, and he's gonna tell us about him.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm Justin. So going off of kind of what Steven said there, I started watching the Panthers, their first Super Bowl. Honestly, that's when I got into football. Before that, I like the Bucks. You like the Saints? I like the Bucks. I like their colors.
Wow.
Garcia was kind of cool to me.
Was it the orange sickle colors?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got to admit it; those are sweet throwbacks.
Those are nice,
I used to have a hat and everything. Yeah, I really liked them. But yeah, the first Super Bowl was the game that I really started watching the Panthers.
And we both saw our first boob.
Yeah.
Hey, Janet
Hey.
Jackson,
Yeah,
nice.
We saw our first boob that night.
Hey.
Thank you, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, JT.
He's
Let's
a
go.
legend in our minds.
Yeah. So, yeah, what Steven said, Steve Smith, I mean, obviously, you can ask any Panther fan. That's going to be probably their number one guy they're going to say. He really got me on the team, but I've loved him ever since. I've been diehard. I will never like another team ever. Braves fan, Tar Heel fan, straight up.
Sorry, Dukies.
Yeah, Duke, NC State.
Yeah, we're talking about Carolina Sports Radio, but Duke can be left out.
We will try to be nice,
a little bit.
but
not this year because Coach K is leaving, and screw you guys.
Yeah, well, we don't have Williams either.
No,
so.
respect to K. Coach K is amazing.
Yeah.
got to give him his props.
But yeah, so yeah, we're just gonna talk about pretty much Carolina Sports Radio, but we'll dive into some major league, everywhere, free agency, trades, a little bit of baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever. But we'll get into a lot of that. But yeah,
and we'll have a beer of the podcast too. We're gonna come up with a name for that segment, but we're gonna try a different beer every podcast.
Yeah.
That's kind of what brought us together with sports and beer. And so we're trying to delve that into the podcast, keep that together, and because we all have different tastes of beer.
Absolutely.
Doug and Justin, they're more of a more expensive experimental kind of guy. I'm a basic dude. I like my Bud Light, and that's what I like. But I'm gonna try experiment for the fans and enjoy some beers with you guys too. So
yeah, right now we're trying the
Just we talked about the
Storm Brew.
Hurricanes, yep.
the Hurricanes, so Storm Brew. Hey, by the way, I will tip my hat to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've won back-to-back Stanley Cups. I mean, you can't take that away from them.
Nope.
That's awesome.
Did you guys see that weird fact that wherever Tom Brady is, the
It's,
championship happened?
it's
That's when
unbelievable.
he went to
It's
Michigan. When he
unbelievable.
went to Michigan, Detroit Red Wings
And-
winning.
One thing I'll say about, we're going to delve into things, but I will say this, and Justin and I talked about this recently. Love him or hate him, um, Tom Brady's the man. I don't care what anybody wants to say. You can hate him. You can hate wanting to be him. He's the man.
Yep.
It is what it is. I get tired of hearing all the
is.
arguments about cheating and whatever. Tom Brady's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
Anybody that says he's not would love to have him as their quarterback.
Oh yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah. Hands
Um,
down.
But one of the things I want to, Justin, you were done.
Yeah, I'm done.
One of the things I want to talk about the group here, and that's as you can see, we're not always going to agree on some of the things we talk about, and that's what's going to make this beautiful. There was an old saying a long time ago. I remember a friend of mine said this, and this is part of growing up in North Carolina. These two guys really didn't get to experience it, but we didn't have major league teams. I was here when the Hornets first came, and everybody had different teams. Everybody liked different teams. And I remember a guy said to us in a group one time, some of us liked, Dallas, the Redskins. It was crazy. And I remember he said, if we all went for the same team, it wouldn't be any fun. And there's a little bit of truth to that, but when it comes to football, pro football, we're all together, man.
Yep.
Big time. I mean, we are Panthers all together. So we may say things at times that, you might not agree with. And I think that's something that's lost nowadays is people just can't agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know you're wrong, I'm wrong.
Right.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to disagree and you both agree and you give each other a bro hug, and that's the end of the day.
That's what makes sports fun. Like to be able to talk about, your team and my team. Like what makes your team so much better than my team?
Bingo.
Like let's debate about it.
Right.
And
Everybody's got their own opinions.
Yeah.
Right? And you should be able to, your opinion may not be what my opinion is, but it could be right. And maybe
Exactly.
that's how that is.
And it's kind of like musical taste, and we'll get into some of that later. Some people like different genres of rock, of music and things. And, I have to be, what happened? Something cut off.
we died.
That died.
There you go.
Okay, we're back.
We are back.
Sorry, we didn't pay the electric bill. But no, using that example was, different genres of music. Some people, don't like certain types of music, and I'm pretty well rounded when it comes to music. But I was guilty as anyone of, if there was a certain genre of music I didn't like, I'd be the first one to say, "Oh man, I don't like that. It sucks. How do you like that?" But you have to respect what people are into, because people are not going to be what I'm into. And when they tell me that it's not good, I'm going to take offense to that.
Right.
So you got to be a little bit more open about what people are into. You just respect it and you move on. And I think that's how we're going to be in this podcast.
It's being open-minded, because you never know, just because you're not into it at the moment, but you start learning and researching about the things people say, maybe that changes your opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's being open-minded.
Exactly.
Hey, as a teenager, I hated country music. I thought it was terrible.
Right.
I was into rap and I was into hard rock.
Are you more open now about
I
it?
love country music.
See,
now.
and I'm the same
because
way.
I started listening to it.
Growing up, I hated it.
Yeah, exactly.
But now, some of the more country rock, I kind of like,
Exactly.
So that's kind of the example I use. So I, like I say, I don't want to hog all this, but that's the example. Once we get followers, and by the way, you can follow us.
Instagram.
We don't
do have
want
Instagram.
we're not trying to offend anyone. We're not trying to make anybody mad. We're just a couple of friends who, I think Steven, I think his description was perfect. We're sitting at the bar doing this, and we thought, why not put a podcast out? Because we're probably not the only guys that do this.
Exactly.
And maybe, hopefully, our experiences can relate to a lot of you guys. So there you go.
And we're open to having guests. So, hey, maybe we'll have a fan giveaway where you guys would be a guest on the podcast and stuff like that. So we're open to talk about anything. We're going to stick with sports. But it's going to be Carolina based, and we're just raring to go.
And we are accepting, Justin brought up, or Steven, I think, brought up about the beers.
Yep.
We will accept sponsorships.
Yep.
Anybody that wants to sponsor an episode when we feature your beer, we'll be happy to do that.
Yep.
We'll put it on there.
So just a little throw out there. I guess we're doing a little bit of throwing out. So, but just, seriously, like I just want to make sure everybody understands there's a lot of things out there you could be listening to. There's a lot of other options. We're just going to try to make this fun. and hopefully everybody will dig it, man. And if you don't, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But we definitely are excited about what we're trying to do here. So hey guys, I said something about comments earlier. Just be kind because we are novice, and we'll try our best to keep to keep it entertaining. That's the best thing we can do.
The best thing is this is the worst we'll ever be. We're always gonna get better from here.
God,
You know
I
what
sure
I mean?
hope so.
This is the worst we're ever gonna be. So you can hang in here with us and keep going, grow with us.
Yeah, this is number one.
Yeah, this is it, man. We're just gonna keep growing and listen to your feedback and just keep it going. Because like I said, we're the three guys at your local bar when you go and watch a game. We're the three guys that you'll always find.
Yeah.
We're all gonna be talking about this with our game. We're gonna be bull crapping. We're gonna just be shooting the crap. I mean, that's how it is. I'm gonna try to keep it G. Well, I usually say some other words, but that's fine. But
And that's another thing, man. If a profanity throws out every now and then, hey man, I apologize up front.
I don't.
I don't have a potty mouth, but when I get to drinking, and it depends on how heated the discussion's going, you never know.
just remember we're the three guys at the bar. It just happens.
There
right?
will be cuss words on this channel. I promise you that.
promise you, it'll probably happen. But again, we're three guys, man. Like you said, we'll pull up a chair at the bar and man, we'll sit here and talk all night, man. It is what it is.
That's what I was gonna say. If you can relate to just going to a bar on a Sunday, grabbing a beer and watching football and talking for a couple hours to some random guy, like this is the podcast you want to be on. Like we're gonna sit here, we're gonna talk shit, and we might not have the same opinions.
There's the first cuss word.
There it is.
Are you surprised, Steven, who cussed the first time?
Actually, I thought it was gonna be me, but that's fine.
That's it. I'm Pops. Go to your room, Justin.
I just wanted to get in there before Steven did, so that's
I thought
fine.
it was gonna be me, but that's all right.
No, but yeah, I mean, we're down to earth. We're we might not have the same opinions like they've been saying, but yeah, we're down to earth. Like
We love everybody, and like Doug said, we don't mean any offense to anybody.
No.
When we say something, it may come across wrong at some points, but we mean no offense. We love everybody, unless you're a Saints fan, and we hate you.
yeah,
Here's
Atlanta fan or a Duke fan.
Here's what will
Definitely.
this might throw a little respect for the teams that we naturally would not like because of our fandom. But I said this to these guys before, and me and my wife, this is one of the things that drives me crazy, and I like to throw this out. Okay, I met a guy one time, and I remember he knows I'm a huge Carolina Tar Heels fan, and I remember he was a Duke fan, and one of the things that he talked about was that he could support Carolina when Duke's not playing. And I immediately looked at him like, he had lost his mind because I have to be honest with everybody in this room and everybody watching. I have never pulled for the Duke Blue Devils. I mean, ever.
So I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite teams are the Carolina Tar Heels and whoever's playing.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what
And I told him, I said, look, man, I respect Duke and I respect their program and I respect Coach K. You can't not respect the guy. But here's what I'll say. I would have more respect for you if you hated Carolina like I hate Duke.
Yep.
Because you should hate Carolina.
Yep.
You're a Duke fan. I respect that hatred because I know how that hatred is.
Exactly.
So, and I never understood, well, no, I mean, if Carolina, like say if Duke loses in the NCAA tournament, I can pull for Carolina. Never.
Well, it's
I
like
never pull for Duke, ever.
it's like what we were talking about with Tom Brady. Like none of us like Tom Brady, but you have to respect his game. Like
Dude's got seven
he
rings.
is
7
literally
rings.
the best quarterback in ever. Like I can't put anybody ahead of him. But you have to respect his game. You might not like him, but you have to respect it.
Hey, if you're Eli Manning, you're 2-0 against Tom Brady. How
Let's
many
go.
people can say that in a Super Bowl? You're 2-0. But by the way, Cam Newton is 3-2 against Tom Brady,
Yeah.
former Panther.
Yeah.
So,
I was with the Panthers.
Now it's with the Patriots.
but
it's
I
fine.
want
we
everybody
won't talk about
to
that.
understand that hatred. We'll respect those teams, but the natural hatred should be there. We understand that. Saints fans should hate us. Atlanta fans should hate us. Tampa fans should hate us. We're rivals,
Exactly.
but it's a respectful hate.
Yeah.
And that's what we want people to understand.
And that's when we eventually have guests. That's the kind of guests we
Yeah.
want on there. It's going to be Carolina Sports Radio, exactly. we want the guests to have a different opinion, and we're not going to gang up on it, but we want
No.
to hear those
No,
different
no.
opinions.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
want all Panther fans on this channel.
Yeah,
like
every
we
time.
want different opinions coming in.
Yeah, because that makes it interesting. So
We are going to have guests, and in a later time we will introduce. We do have, I guess, a general manager or a manager. We'll introduce that person later. That will keep us in line. It's a tough job. We probably got to pay her.
Yeah.
But the group that we do hang out with, and I have to mention them, Lake Norman Riot is really what got us all together. It's a good group. It's a good group of people, and we like to actively recruit that to get members. But they are affiliated with this podcast just because we're all involved. But just understand, we try to keep people interested in what we're talking about, but we do welcome other opinions, other anything. So that's the thing, man. I think we've introduced the I guess the general idea of what we're trying to do here. So bring it on, man. We're excited. This thing's been a long time in the making.
A long time.
We've had some injuries. We've had
Concussion protocols.
man, we've had all kinds of things, surgeries.
Yeah.
But it's finally come about. And
hangovers.
Lots of
we
hangovers.
won't discuss that. But it's been a long time coming, and I'm really excited. Happy to be working with these two guys. Again, I know we joke about the age and all that kind of stuff. That's one of the things that I enjoy hanging out with these two guys is, I don't feel like there's any kind of age difference at all. We all get along, man. We necessarily don't always agree with everything, but man, that's what makes it fun.
Yep.
And like I said, I know I can go to war with these two guys and I don't have to worry about anything. If it gives you guys any, I guess, idea of what we're talking about, I'm a recent retiree. And I don't know what these guys are like in the middle of their working time. So that's the difference. I don't want to get into what I retired from. Eventually that'll come out, but it is what it is, and we're going to keep doing this. And I want you guys just to know, man, again, I just don't want to come across as you've got other options to listen to. That's the thing. You've got other options. We're going to try to keep it cool where you want to keep coming back every episode. So,
You got anything to say, Steven?
Well, I know going on what Doug was saying about the age difference is, we call you our pops, but you're actually our brother.
yeah, exactly,
Just telling
man.
you right
I like
now,
the Dougie Fresh better.
The Dougie Fresh.
Dougie
yeah.
Fresh.
Dougie Fresh. So we're going to try to figure out some cool nicknames for everybody. Obviously, we got Dougie Fresh. Episode 2, we're going to come up with Justin's nickname, and then maybe episode 3, we'll figure out my nickname, and then we'll go from there. So,
They call me Pops when they want their allowance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's when I'm Pops.
When we're looking for a free beer, that's when we call them Pops.
Pops.
Yeah, and that's always.
Yeah.
Justin, anything? I mean, you want to add?
I was just gonna close it out. If y'all got anything else?
I think that's it. Appreciate everybody that listen and will continue to follow us. That's all I got.
And the format, we did talk about how often we're going to do a podcast. We talked about initially, guys. I think we talked about maybe once a week, but occasionally we might do maybe more because depending on what's going on. But we do have training camp about to start with the Panthers, and I'm sure we'll get one in definitely before that.
Yep.
No,
But we're looking forward to it, man. Last thing in closing remarks for me, I'll tell you guys. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Panthers this year. I think the Panthers are going to be very good. I think the defense is going to be better than what people think. I think we got some real studs.
top 10 defense.
I absolutely. I think they're going to be really good, barring injuries, of course. But I do, man. If we get a healthy team, I really think the Panthers are going to surprise some people, and that's fine with me. Fly under the radar. I think that's great. But I do think, and I hope that's not my fandom kicking in. I do think I like what Matt Rule and they're doing right now. Offensive line is the only thing I'm a little bit worried about. But I think other than that, I think we're going to be solid. I really do. So that's my, I guess, pre-training camp, guys. We'll look back later and hope I was right.
Oh yeah, we'll dive into this way.
But that's what I think. Steven, what do you think?
I mean, I agree. I mean, you don't want to be a hopeless optimist. You know, that's how it comes with being a fandom. Is you're a hopeless optimist. You always think for the best, even when the worst is coming. But I totally agree. I think bold prediction, like I said, top 10 defense coming from Carolina.
I think that's fair.
The biggest thing holding us back is that offensive line. See how it gels together, and if Darnold's the true deal. I said since last September we should trade for him. I think we got the weapons around him for him to succeed, and we'll just have to go from there.
I'll go with what he said about Darnold. I totally agree. I was in on Darnold a long time ago.
Yeah, I'll agree. Our defense, we definitely had some draft picks that boosted our defense. We had some signings to sign Reddick. I mean, Brian Burns and him are going to tear it up. So our defense is going to be good. I'm excited for the offense. See Darnold and with some weapons. That'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm excited.
So my bold predictions. I'm sorry, guys, I keep chiming in, but offense, Darnold is going to be the new Tannehill. He's going to turn it around, and then defense, top 10 total defense.
I think it's a fair.
Okay.
I think Tannehill's a fair comparison.
So do we want to like
you want to do pre?
It's first episode, right?
So we're gonna do pre.
So do we want to do like our bold predictions for the year right now, defense and offense?
Sure.
Go ahead and start it off, Dougie.
Sure. So with offense,
you can pick a player or team stat.
And do you want to end on like rankings? How we think the rankings will be for the offense?
We'll just do predictions.
I think. All right. I think Darnold is going to have a solid year, barring. You have to understand, in all fairness to Teddy, I think CMC being injured last year really hurt Teddy. The lack of having a tight end also hurt, especially in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
I think barring injuries, and it's a healthy CMC, I think Darnold is going to be at least a probably top 15, maybe top 10 quarterback. I think as long as we can stretch the field with Moore and Anderson, I think a lot of underneath with the running back and the tight end will be open if the offensive line can hold up.
Yep.
I think we'll be fine. Going defensively, I personally think the defense is going to be I think they're going to be stout. I really do. Defense, I agree with Steven. I think they're going to be top 10, maybe even top 5. That might be a big stretch, but I really like our defense. So that's me. I think the Panthers, personally, my opinion, I think will be a wild card team. I think they will win at least enough to get in the playoffs. Other than that, you get an extra game this year, an extra playoff team. I think they're a playoff team. But, Tampa's going to be solid, of course. But I think other than that, I think Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina, I don't know, man. I think Carolina's better than those two teams. Personally, I think the Saints are loaded, but I don't know about the quarterback situation.
I just say don't sleep on Atlanta. I just don't sleep on Atlanta. I think Saints take a big step back.
Yeah.
And they may. I'm just not sold on Atlanta. Maybe I'm wrong. I think Pitts, of course, is going to be a great addition, but they lost Julio. So I just think there's some uncertainty going on in Atlanta right now. I think there's some transition problems going on. I think Matt Ryan might be on his way out eventually. Great quarterback. I don't like Matt Ryan that much, but I think his numbers don't lie. But I think the Panthers are a playoff team. Barring injuries, I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I can say we will probably finish second in the league or in our division at least.
And that's where I'm going.
Yeah. Tampa obviously has the division probably, but offensively, we're going bold predictions. I'll throw it out there. I'm gonna say Arnold, our new tight end. I'm gonna say he has double-digit touchdowns. I like him in the red zone. He's tall. He's fast. He's got great hands. Darnold is gonna love him in the red zone, and I'm gonna give him double-digit touchdowns there.
He's hungry too.
Yeah.
I've read a few articles. He's ready.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be his breakout year.
He's ready for a bigger role.
Yep.
And defensively, I'm gonna go out and say it. J.C. Horn, defensive player of the year.
Defensive player or defensive rookie?
He'll be rookie.
Rookie. Defensive rookie of the year.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Totally agree with.
Yeah,
I agree.
I totally agree with that.
But defensive rookie of the year. I'll give him more than 5 picks.
Really, more than 5 picks.
More than 5
really?
picks. Yep.
I
Damn.
think he'll have at
Okay.
least. I think he'll have at least 5.
I think in our division with the guys he's going to match up with, I think he can definitely overcome 5 picks. And
I mean, I like it.
One of the things that Jason noted on videos, and this shows you the research we've done, J.C. Horn's footwork.
Jason,
Jason's footwork. His footwork. He
Jason?
talked about how great his footwork was. So hopefully that that'll come into play in covering some of these big receivers. I mean, that's the thing about our division. We got some big receivers in our division.
Oh,
Some fast ones too.
So we got to make sure JC can size up with those guys. And I will say I'm glad Julio's gone. So
yeah.
I don't know if everybody
everybody's
agrees.
glad Julio's gone. Steve, what you got?
All right, so I said something about the Darnold Tannehill transformation there, but what I think is, I think DJ Moore finally gets his recognition from the league
Hopefully.
and cracks the top 5 of receivers because I think he can.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you guys something right here. You heard it first. Dante Jackson leads us in picks this year.
Wow. Okay.
Dante Jackson leads us in
Wow.
picks.
Rule talked about the other day about how he liked his all-season prep.
And
Yeah.
I honestly think he has 7+.
Okay.
They've been talking. He looks really good in camp, man. Like,
So that's what I think really is. Dante takes the next step on the defense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So last thing I'll say, and this is just a personal thing, guys, so y'all have to bear with us here. So are we all set that Sly is going to be our guy again this year?
oh god,
Sly is always my guy.
Yep.
That's an inside thing.
the Sly Neil.
Every time he goes to kick, even if it's an extra point, we always kneel and we have to like at least touch Steven somehow. I don't care where it is, but
Yeah. And his
um,
bum.
it works most of the time. Doesn't work all the time, but it's just one of our things.
Honestly?
I kneel down and pray with Joey Sly. I'm with you, buddy. If you're listening to this, if you ever listen to this, you're my guy. I pray for you every time you take that kick. I love you, and I'm there with you in spirit.
Yep.
Well, hey, we love you, man.
Keep going, man.
We'll love you even more if you make those kicks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When
Especially like the 30-yarders.
Well, when you kick that 75-yarder or whatever against the Chiefs, 70-yarder,
Yeah.
man, I had every bone in my body praying for you, dude. You would have made that. Oh man, I would have went butt naked down the street. But
So-
it's fine.
I wanted to throw that in there for special teams recognition. We didn't even hit on that on that aspect, but that's another thing that we did draft a long snapper.
Yep.
So hopefully
Bye bye, JJ.
JJ might be gone. And I'm sure that's a salary cap type thing. But that's our summary. I mean, that's what we're looking at. I mean, I know there's a lot of things that can happen up until at least training camp starts and after. Just remember, injuries are a big thing in this game, but you can't use the injuries as an excuse because everybody gets injured on every team. So barring injury, though, we do feel that the Panthers are a playoff team. I think that's what we agree on.
Yep.
Will they win the division? With some luck, maybe, but Tampa's strong.
And that's just not us being fans. That's us looking at the roster and saying, they have a good roster. Like they put the
Absolutely.
pieces together.
Absolutely.
They actually have a very good roster.
I'm not one to be like I said, hopeless optimist. I want to tell you, if we suck, we suck.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
But I think this team that we put together, we're good.
Yeah.
We compete with almost anybody last year. With Teddy, I know I'm a little bit different with Doug on his aspect of Teddy Bridgewater. I think he came out and said some bullshit against us because when he hit into the 20, he turned into don't want to say blind man, but blind man. He couldn't see nothing.
Yeah.
Well, he was one dimensional.
Yeah,
he didn't use his
couldn't
check
He
downs.
couldn't do anything. Whatever.
Yeah.
But we hung out with them through anybody. We went toe to toe with Kansas City, and
We actually probably should have won that
Yeah.
game.
So you know what? We can go toe to toe with any team, and the team that we built this offseason, I think we can make a lot of noise in Carolina.
Well, I mean, and that's it, guys. And we don't want to take this too long. We're going to wrap up, but just the thing is, man, we're going to try our best not to use our fandom to cloud our judgment. When the Panthers aren't playing good, man, we're going to say it. I mean, that's the thing. We're going to say it. So I hope that doesn't offend anybody either. One thing I've noticed that some fans like to say, well, if you talk bad about your team, you're not a good fan. I don't agree with that. If the team's not playing well, you need to say that.
Yeah, it's not saying that we're not rooting for
No,
the team anymore.
no.
It's just saying the team's not playing well.
So
It's
remember
like,
that.
It's like a friend. You want a true friend to tell you
Yeah.
the real stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, so let's be honest. You might not agree, but let's be honest. So remember that as well going forward. So that's our synopsis, basically, of what we think the Panthers are going to do this year.
Yep.
We're going to go ahead and wrap up this first raw edition of the
raw.
Carolina Sports Radio podcast. Hope you liked it. If you didn't, that's fine, man. We'll take suggestions and we might work on some things. But hey, man, this was raw. We admitted this was basically off the cuff. We didn't have any script. We didn't have anything. So hey, be nice, guys. We appreciated it. Justin, Steven, anything, last words?
No, I got it. That's about it. Like, I'm gonna take this from another podcast. If you liked it, please tell your friends. If you don't listen to it. That's fine. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Justin, tell them what all social media we're on, if you can remember everything.
Yeah. So we are on Instagram. It's Carolina Sports Radio, all lowercase. Also Facebook, we are on there. Same thing.
Facebook's not up yet. We're still
Not up, but it'll get there. We'll get there.
YouTube.
YouTube, same thing.
Instagram.
Carolina Sports Radio. But yeah, go follow us. Like the videos, and we appreciate everything, guys. We'll keep getting better at this. I promise.
I know we'll get better. I think Steven said, hopefully we don't get worse. But just one thing, we'll also have intro music, that kind of thing. We're working on that right now. So also, we're going to sign off. We'll probably have some kind of catchphrase we'll use at the end, but we can use one that we all know very well.
Very well.
So let's just do this on 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep pounding, baby.
Let's go, boys.
I don't think that was too bad, y'all.